incentivizes fake jobs. And by fake jobs, I mean jobs that more than likely wouldn't be there in the event that the state was not there to subsidize, fund it, monopolize that fucking industry or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the government does. The government's not a producer. Everything the government has, even that it claims that it owns, is off the back of the taxpayer, stolen money, funds from current generation and future generations by way of monetizing their debt. Federal Reserve and the Treasury allows them to do that. Okay. A lot of that, you see that in the school systems, where you get people that are hired based upon nothing, and they have like fake job titles. It's almost money laundering at that point. Fake job titles that you're like, what the fuck does this person do? And you actually find out that they don't really do shit. It's just it's a fake job trying to solve a fake problem. But they can do that and not be efficient with their money because, well, they're getting state funding. And when you're not playing with money that you earned, it's a lot easier to be frivolous with it, to be reckless with the money, because it's not, you're not earning it. You don't have, it doesn't, and not even that. That's an important part. The other part perhaps is most important. Their dollar isn't based upon their like performance or them providing a market need in terms of if they get that, right? They get that money regardless because it's stolen. Here's another interesting thing, of course, coming out of the corrupt shithole that it is, California. Kevin Kiley mentioned this, and he says California is illegally paying 6 figures to a superintendent of equity. That's a fake job. That's a fake job. That's not real. Superintendent of equity. That's not a real job. Who lives and works as a life coach in Philadelphia. He was in the wedding of our state school's chief who hired him. I write to you regarding, and this is Assembly of California Legislature, Mr. Yolanda Richardson, Kevin Kiley wrote, Vice Chair of Assembly Education Committee. It says, Dear Secretary Richardson, I write to you regarding a recent report that the Department of Education Superintendent of Equity, Daniel Lee, resides, votes, and owns business in Pennsylvania. This motherfucker's literally on the other side of the country. You've been bamboozled, led astray. While being employed by the state of California, Mr. Lee's taxpayer-funded salary is more than $160,000. This motherfucker is getting He's getting 6 figures for a fake job. In a recent interview, Amy Palmer, spokesperson for the California Government Operations Agency, said that the state employment is for California residents unless the job requires a different location. She made it clear that there are a few exceptions to this rule. I respectfully request that you determine if Mr. Lee's current employment is allowable under state law. I wouldn't even do that. I would just call for the person to be fucking fired. And more importantly, I would call for the complete elimination of the public education system and the Department of Education that exists. Again, this guy has a fake job. A job so fake that he is allowed to live in a completely different state that ain't anywhere near fucking California. It's on the other side of the goddamn country. Job so fake that it's on the other side of the country where he gets to own a business over there, live, vote, all of that shit on the other side of the country. Now, there are stories like this, and I mean not just through the public education system, though it's just the most obvious because they have often a lot of fake titles, definitely among equity and diversity and all of this shit, titles that didn't even exist when I was in school that are now fucking titles to try to solve a problem that ain't even fucking there. But there's a lot of fake jobs within the government. These are guys that don't provide, there's no market need for them, and that's the important part. The job is completely arbitrary. It's not real, okay? It's fake. It's fucking fake. What is it? Superintendent of equity. Right out the gate, you know that job ain't fucking real, man. This is motherfucking probably a diversity hire that just got brought on to, fill a role, probably took a fucking headshot for the website, and there's some paragraph telling them how much he cared, of him telling you about how much he is committed to diversity and other kinds of dumb shit. But he ain't doing nothing. He told you he ain't doing nothing. Motherfucker said, all right, thanks for the job. I'm out of here. And ain't nobody even blinked twice because they all in on it. They job's probably, person hired them, job probably fake too. I mean, basically the entire public sector is full of fake jobs. And this is why, for you guys that are on the fence about decentralization, which you shouldn't be, if the jobs were fake, in the event that they were kicked to the curb and not having to rely on taxpayer money, the job would still exist. They would be very lucrative. They would be valuable within the marketplace, and somebody would hire them in the event that they didn't rely or they weren't using stolen funds to pay for this shit. But the reality is, and this is why academics are often the most protective of the state, because all of them know, in the event that the state is gotten rid of in any kind of capacity, especially in terms of what they control regarding education, they are going to be forced out on the streets and forced to get real jobs. They don't want that. They want the pensions. They want the tenures. And the only way you can get away with hiring people that don't do shit and paying them that much fucking money in mass, not just one or two jobs, in mass, is if you are operating with funds that ain't yours, that you don't earn, and your shit work rate doesn't impact your bottom line, yeah, you can get away with doing stuff like that fairly easy. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.